guys, so I'm a little bit sick today. I have some sort of a cold or something, so I'm drinking tea instead of coffee. So naturally I have to talk about something related to England. I'm gonna tell you a story today. This is something that happened last summer when I was in Bristol. Maybe for any of you guys who have really exciting lives this isn't that strange, but I kind of thought it was and it still stays with me. So let's begin the story. To set the scene, last summer I was working on a dissertation. So I was spending a lot of time at the library, spending a lot of time reading and writing and just generally looking like a nerd. I also spent a lot of that time with one of my best friends who was in the same program as me, working on the same thing. She was doing her dissertation as well. This was, I think, a Friday night. It was a Friday or Saturday maybe, so it was kind of a busy night, and we both lived right off of this really popular street. There were bars and clubs and things, but also it was a place where people had to go through to get to a lot of the other bars and clubs, and it was right near the city center. So of course the weekends were probably a bad time to be going out, but we had just gotten back from an entire afternoon and evening at the library. We were exhausted. We looked like total nerds. We did not look like we were about to go out and party. We had glasses and hoodies and hair up in braids and the whole 9 yards. But we decided to go out to this nice Spanish restaurant and have a glass of wine and just celebrate the weekend because we had worked hard all day. So we went in, just her and me, and we sat down at this table that was right by the window. We were enjoying our wine, having a great time, just talking about whatever we'd studied at the library. And this guy was walking down the street. He stopped. I saw him stop, and then he doubled back and came in the restaurant. And he just sat at our table at that empty stool. And he's like, "Do you guys have an iPhone charger?" He looked kind of scroungy, not dressed very nicely and stuff, especially considering it looked like a night out and he looked like he had a little bit too much of something. So my friend and I were just sitting there in complete shock at the complete rudeness of this guy, and also just strangeness and a little bit scariness. It's this random guy we've never seen before. He seems like he might be intoxicated. He's really tall. You know, I'm not very big. My friend's tiny. We're sitting there looking like nerds. So I was just like, no, we don't have an iPhone charger, and looked away, tried not to pay too much attention to him, tried not to encourage him in any way, shape, or form, so he would just leave. And then the waiter saw it and started to come over because he kind of thought, I guess, that we had a third person joining us. So my friend looked at him and went, "Nope, not with us, nope." So then I think the waiter started to kind of pick up on the fact that something was going on. At this point, I think the guy might have been trying to strike up a conversation or something and was really taking up a lot of space. He was like spread out in the stool where my friend and I were just like against the wall trying to sort of get away from him. And then the waiter came over and he was like, "Sir, you can't do that." And this is when the guy completely changed, because when he sat down, he was just some sort of friendly, over-comfortable, but possibly, potentially harmless dude who just sat down and sort of harassing these couple of girls trying to enjoy their post-study evening. But now when the male waiter came over, he completely changed and he started getting really offended. That's when the yelling started. So now this guy is sitting at our table and we don't know him and are trying to make that very obvious to the rest of the people in the nice little restaurant. And the guy started yelling and saying all types of cuss words, dropping the F-bomb and everything, yelling at the guy, telling him he wasn't doing anything wrong, he was allowed to do that, what was the guy's problem, why did he think that he'd have to leave? And then the manager from the desk across the room started yelling at him and said, "Nope, you gotta go, you have to go." And it just became this entire fiasco. And then, to top it off, a little head pops in the restaurant, because we're sitting right by the door, and a woman's voice says, "What are you doing?" So apparently the guy was on a date. I don't even know. He was apparently with somebody else who he just left out there on the street, and she was getting a little bit concerned about the fact that her boyfriend is now in a restaurant, sitting with two poor innocent library studious girls, and is now cussing out the manager and the waiter who tried to help us. So then, after some more screaming, some more F-bombs, some more choice words, the man finally left. But there you have it! That's something interesting that happened to me last summer. I hope the story has entertained you in some way. Let me know in the comments if you have any other weird, I hate to say drunk person stories because that could probably go on forever, but if you have any stories that somehow you just thought of them from this, let me know in the comments. I would love to know that the weirdos don't sort of just circulate around me. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then let me know that too, and I might make more in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, where hopefully I will no longer be sick.